The videos of them constructing the turbine are from this broken turbine that hasn't been running for over a year in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. Just FYI.
Harnessing the energy of the wind is nothing new. The problem, as any sailor will tell you, is the wind has a mind of its own. I'm on a 22-foot sailboat in the waters of Rhode Island. The wind here can be harsh and unpredictable. When you want it to blow hard, it's dead calm. And when you want a pleasant sea breeze, you get a hurricane. And that's exactly what's going to make this one of the toughest fixes yet. I'm on my way to the town of Portsmouth, Rhode Island, a small community that's made a very big decision. They're taking energy production into their own hands. They want to start making electricity for themselves. Technically challenging and prone to disaster. First up is the tower section. This 60-foot long steel tube is lifted off the deck with 2 cranes. Next comes the gearbox and generator assembly, or nacelle, all 62 metric tons of it. Finally, there's the massive hub and blade assembly. As long as a football field from tip to tip, and designed to catch the wind. Now, here's rule number 1. Any wind over 25 miles an hour, and nothing flies. Our first job, put up the tower section. The main tower of this wind turbine is over 200 feet tall. We'll put it up in 3 sections.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we got to put this thing up. You guys are done screwing around. Let's go.
Yeah, boss. Stabilize it, but it's a monster lift. This piece here is called the nacelle, and it really houses the guts of the turbine. It's got the enormous gearbox that the rotor is actually attached to. Behind that is the spinning generator that's turning mechanical energy into electricity. Underneath the whole thing is the gearing that turns the rotor into the wind. All assembled, this unit weighs about 62 tons, and it's by far the heaviest thing we have to lift. The nacelle is the nuts and bolts of electricity generation. The power that will run Portsmouth High School is knocking over the crane. To safely lift the nacelle, the crane operator must raise the boom arm to keep the crane steady, which causes another problem. As the load comes up, it gets closer and closer to the crane. The higher the nacelle gets, the more dangerous any spin or lateral movement becomes. If the load hits the crane, it could easily collapse it, taking out the tower and us. To keep that from happening, 2 crews on the ground strain to keep the nacelle from spinning. It's critical they hold this thing square to the crane. Put it on top of the tower. Then we got the nacelle, the heaviest piece, up. Now it's time to lift the most awkward piece. The massive rotor, 250 feet in diameter, is engineered to catch the wind. It's our toughest lift yet, and again, we're going to use 2 cranes to pull it off. Here's the plan. The large crane will be rigged to 2 of the blades, while a small crane will lift and stabilize the 3rd. We'll lift horizontally until the rotor is high enough to rotate into a vertical position. This is the danger zone, when the blades of the rotor are open to catch the wind. The only thing keeping the rotor from spinning will be the strength of the guys holding back the taglines. Keith and Relic go over the rigging.
The videos of them constructing the turbine are from this broken turbine that hasn't been running for over a year in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. Just FYI.